Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on how to use questions and answers on Google My Business and Facebook to grow your business. I'm Tim Ryan, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County, and I'll be your host. Our presenter today is Ed Winslow. More on Ed in just a minute. Some info on SCORE itself. There's over 320 offices nationwide with 11,000 volunteers. We're part of the SBA. SCORE Fairfield County itself has over 130 volunteers with a wide range of industry, process, and subject matter expertise. We offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners. 1, free one-on-one counseling. 2, educational workshops and webinars, over 150 per year. And 3, extensive resources on our website, including Word and Excel templates to help you build your business plan. SCORE puts on many webinars each month. Look for future events on our webinar calendar at fairfieldcounty.score.org. Some useful information about today's event. If you have a question, please use the chat window at any time during the presentation. It is located in the lower part of your screen. Our webinar will end at noon to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and the link to the recording will be available at fairfieldcounty.score.org within the next couple of days. Now, our speaker. Ed Winslow is the founder and owner of Niche Quest Media, a digital marketing agency with clients nationwide. Ed is also the creator of 10xdisplayads.com, providing retargeting strategies for small to large companies. Ed lives in Wilton, Connecticut. Welcome, Ed. I'll turn it over to you now.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me. Okay. So this is such a great topic if you're looking to generate clients and if you're looking to use the internet as a sales tool to attract clients. And this is something that is this is where I started when I first got into the internet, was just creating content. And the first question is, what is content? Content is what the internet has been built on, and it's all been user generated. So website owners and video content and Facebook posts, and whether it's web pages, it's blogs, social posts, videos, press releases. That is what content is. And so if you're looking to utilize your website and your and your social pages and video and all that kind of thing, this is what we're going to be talking about. Because if you go about it the right way, you can write a piece of content, and that's really where it starts. It really starts with what is your strategy. What are you going after? You just can't randomly just write content. You want to write content that is going to produce a result for you. You want it to get it ranked on Google. You can turn that content from, let's say it's a blog post, for example. You can create a blog post, and you can take that blog post and you can repurpose it, and you can convert that blog into social content. If you break your blog down to like categories, for example, one of the things I work with all my clients is, let's take a page on a particular topic, and we'll start out with like maybe 30 to 50 words of introductory content as to what that page is going to be about. And we might break it down into like 3 to 5 subtopics on that particular page. And if your subtopics are, let's say, 50 to 100 words, and you have 3 to 5 subtopics, you can create a 300 word piece of content. And then you add a summary at the end. Now, if you're a local business, one of the things you can do is, when you create your summary at the end of the content, you can add in geographic terms like, I'm in Norwalk, Connecticut, I'm near Darien and Stamford or Westport. We're in the heart of Fairfield County, 1 hour from New York City. So, when you start to utilize a summary like that, you're bringing in some local signals that are going to help you rank locally, which is a lot easier to rank for than trying to rank nationally. And if you're a local business, the name of the game is to try and rank for as many different things as you can in your local market. So we're going to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about question and answers. Really, what people are looking for online is they're looking for answers to a problem. That's what they're generally looking for. And when you start to get into specific questions, you're starting to get into deeper niches within your business, or if you're a marketer, it's within your client's business. So I'm going to show you a couple examples. So, let's start out, how search engine optimization works. So it starts really with keywords, but it's really the internet has evolved quite a bit. Google has gotten extremely brilliant over the years. And, whereas, people would really just focus on ranking for a keyword, people do not search like it's the yellow pages. So what they're searching for today is they're searching for queries, they're searching for question and answers, and you want to come up on the Google search for combinations of keywords. And so, there sort of becomes a little bit of a formula here. When you focus on question and answers, it's going to help you rank so much better because that's what Google is looking for. And I'm going to just show you, this, I'm going to use this as an example, but there's a business in New York City that we work with called Okeanos Aquascaping, and they build these beautiful high-end custom aquariums. And they have, their Google My Business, which is that local maps position that you see in local markets. We had them up to like 160,000 visitors on their Google My Business account about a month ago, which is an extraordinary amount. That's an extraordinary amount of traffic for a design, a custom aquarium design builder. How did we do that? Well, we optimized, and little things like just, when you've got, like for them, they've got a lot of fish. They've got, there's a lot of different kinds of fish. There's a lot of different kinds of coral reef. There's different sizes of aquariums, so it could be a 100-gallon aquarium or a 200-gallon or a 500-gallon. You don't want to just say aquarium. What you want to do is you want to tell Google what you offer, and they build 1,000-gallon aquariums. Somebody that's searching that wants a big aquarium, they're not just going to search for custom aquariums. They're going to search for like a custom 1,000-gallon custom aquarium. They might search for specific types of coral reef. They might search for saltwater aquariums or freshwater aquariums. So it becomes very broad. And what we wanted to do with them is we want to get as many hooks in the water, right? So you're out there fishing, like we want to get as many hooks in the water as possible, to catch as many fish as we can. So you can see, like right here, Okeanos Aquascaping, you can see 167,000 views, and that's from their Google My Business account. And so, what happens today is when there's a couple, little SEO type tricks, search engine optimization tricks you can implement, but your Google My Business account and your website become one and the same. Like they work together, they work off each other. And what I've seen is over the years is that Google will learn about your website from what you put on your Google My Business page, and vice versa. Your Google My Business will learn from your website. So they become two tools that can work together. When you set up your Google My Business account, you can add reviews, and you can also set up a YouTube channel. So all these Google products start to work together. And when you start to build this web, where everything's interconnected, it's like one big spider web where everything is sort of connecting together, and you start to go after deeper niche keywords. And a lot of times, when we started this campaign with Okeanos, they had a problem with their existing website. It didn't have a content management system, so we couldn't log into the account. So when, I first got the project, I said, okay, well, how are we going to optimize and write blogs? There was no blog to work with. So I said, why don't we start out by optimizing their photos? And so they had a very active uh, Instagram account with a lot of following, but they were posting tons and tons of images. And what we did was we took the images and we started to add them to their Google My Business account. And while the photos were on the on the our hard drive, we would go in and we would identify all the photos by the type of fish. And the photos that they were using were photos that they took on their mobile phones, which already has a latitude and longitude feature built in. So the photos have a latitude and longitude feature, right? So then we add, the different kinds of fish or the different kinds of coral. And so we were optimizing photos, and that became like a big driver. It was sort of a chance that, when we started with these guys, numerous years ago, I didn't know that was going to happen, but that's how we got these kind of broad results. This is how you get, 167,000 views, all by keyword search. But we also we rebuilt their website. We started adding a lot of question and answers to their site, and that really boosted the results huge. Now, I'm going to show you an example, and this was sort of interesting because recently I created a course, an online course on how to create a blog strategy. And one of the markets that I targeted was the business broker market, and I wanted to use this as an example. And I didn't really know the market very well, so I had this whole step-by-step process of how to figure out the right strategy. And what I was targeting on this one was, if you're a business broker, what you really want is you want the sellers, not so much the buyers. And it's sort of like in the real estate business. If you're a real estate broker, you really want to get control of the seller and do the marketing for the seller, because if the property sells, you're going to get paid effectively. So the same thing with a business broker. You want to be the one that's marketing a property or a business for sale. So what we did was we targeted like selling a gas station in Naples. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to create in my course, I show how I go step by step down this whole path, and we created a sample blog. And what was really interesting about this is how we use question and answers. We use things like bullet points. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in a second, but this is so interesting. This is there's a company that I know they're down in Naples, Florida. We built a website for them. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to test this to see how, could we rank for this topic? With the idea being that if we target like selling a gas station in Naples, and it ranks, well, we could create another piece of content like, selling a laundromat or selling a manufacturing business, and now we would have a repeatable strategy that we could implement over and over and over. And it worked. I didn't know it was going to work, but anyway. And this is interesting because the blog that we wrote, we put on my NicheQuest site, which is not in the business broker market, right? And what was really interesting is you can see here, selling a gas station in Naples, it outranks number 2, which is Biz Buy Sell, which is a massive site. And then there's other big sites that we were able to outrank. So anyway, so here's the beginning, right? So this goes back to what I was saying earlier about when you create your content, you really ideally want to have a structure for your blog. You can see that the title starts with selling a gas station. 3 things to consider before marketing your gas station for sale. So you can see we targeted marketing your gas station for sale, selling a gas station. So we're right in the title. We're seeding the article with the content that we're targeting. And then we've got our introductory paragraph about, if you're thinking about selling a gas station, you probably want to get the highest price in the shortest amount of time. So there's our, there's our 50 words or whatever it is. Now, after the introduction, what we did was and I'm going to show you where you can find question and answers as we get further down this. I'm going to show you sort of the whole formula. But when you start with, we started with, in the first topic in the blog, as you scroll down the page, what is a selling memorandum? And so what we did, we broke this down into three basic, categories. What is a selling memorandum? Because we know that that's what people are searching for online. And then we broke it down, there's another category, and I'll show you in a second, putting your selling team together, and you'll see what I did. But so we focused on the question. And then what we did was we broke it down to a series of bullet points. And so, this is pretty good information. And then we went into, number 2, business valuation. That was a really important part of, if you're a seller and you're looking to sell your gas station, the first thing you need is you're going to need a selling memorandum, but you also need a business valuation. So number 2, how to calculate the value of a business for sale. And then number 3 is, now we did not do a question on number 3, but number 3, expert assistance when selling a gas station, and you need a strategic advisor, a business lawyer, an accountant, a banker. So you can see how we've structured this page. Now, I did not know, it's an awesome article, but the way I put this together was by doing this process of going and doing a search. I started out with, selling a business, what do you need to know? And I just did the research online, and I found the top sites on a national basis. And I just sort of took notes as I was going through the process. I also, I started out on the Google side, because I'm not really looking at keyword tools so much, because keyword tools are only a guide. And I just know from many years of experience that somebody who's looking to sell a gas station is not doing a search for how do I sell a business. They're doing a search for how do I sell my gas station. If somebody has a laundromat and they want to know how to go about selling their laundromat, they're not going to do a search for how do I sell a business. They're going to search for how do I sell a laundromat. And even though I could end up creating like 100 different pages on all these different topics, whether it's gas stations or laundromats or manufacturing, even though we might have a similar page for each, the person who's selling a gas station isn't going to go onto the laundromat page and the manufacturing page and say, oh my gosh, these guys are just sort of writing the same thing over and over. They're not going to look at that. They're not even, the gas station owner doesn't care about anything else. They only care about what they've got. And it's okay with, it works with Google as well. But anyway, so that's sort of like the structure. Now, the other thing that we did on the bottom of this blog was we added a Google map. So that really helped localize the post. So, you can see here's downtown Naples. Now, let me just go right back up here for a second here. So, the thing that's sort of interesting about this strategy is that you've already got right here, just this post right here, you could turn this into countless Facebook posts. And you could just break this down. You could take this one piece of content, you could turn it into, easily, one Facebook post a day or 2 or 3, because there's so many different things that you can write about. Like down here, we've got, your business description, your competitive overview, products, operating inventory, staffing, things like that. So you can repurpose this content over and over. So you don't have to come up, the thing that's really, let's go back at 1 second here. One of the things that's so nice about putting together a strategy like this is that effectively we've put together a 1-year strategy. And now you've got the blog that's going to rank on Google. You can take this content and you can turn it into numerous social media posts. You can turn it into videos. If you want, you could even turn it into um, press releases. And you can also go over to Google My Business, where there's a section where you can post your content. And so you can get many different uses out of one piece of content. And this solves the problem of trying to think about, okay, what am I going to write about? And if you have a strategy like this, not only are you going to rank on Google for tons of things, but you've got a simple strategy that you can replicate every single month or every single week, over and over and over. All right, so that's that. Now I wanted to show you another one. And this is a dental practice. We did something, very similar for a dental practice up in this is up in Newington, Connecticut, up the Merritt and off 91. And so what we did here was we broke down on their homepage. We broke down these are 3 of 6 categories that appear on their homepage. You can look at eCedarDental.com if you want, and you can click each one of these. Like you could click the pregnancy page, the babies page, or the teenagers, and then we've got seniors and adults over 40, that kind of thing. And you can click any one of these and it's going to take you over to a page. So what I've done here is I've broken it down into little clips for this presentation, but it's really good information. Can you go to a dentist when pregnant? And so that's a great that's a great topic. Here further down is, are dental x-rays safe during pregnancy? So this is really good information. We found this information by searching online, and I'll show you that in a second. Same thing with on the dentist for babies page. When should my baby see the dentist for the first time? And these are questions that are already online. You can find these questions online. I'm going to show you how. All right. And then here's another one, finger or thumb sucking, should parents worry? This is really good information. It enabled us to rank really quickly, even though there's not a lot of search for a topic like this. It is ranking. It helps your overall site rank because it's good information, and it's going to help you rank, a dental practice rank for their Google My Business as well. And of course, like I was saying, you could take these questions and turn them into social media posts, and you can turn them into videos, and you can even send links to this particular page to maybe a new client, a new patient that is, so you've got some really good information. So you can utilize this information lots of different ways. It works as an online and offline tool. Okay. So, how do you find questions and answers? Okay. So what we typically do, one of the first starting points is, just go to Google and do a search for a general term on a national basis. And so if you do a search for like dentist for babies and you scroll down, you're going to see Google's going to tell you the questions that people ask. And you can just highlight the words on that question, like put them on a notepad and save them. Okay, for when you when you start writing the content. Now, what you can do is every time you see one of these questions, like, do babies get free dental care? Is dental work necessary on baby teeth? And you can see what I did here was I clicked this particular arrow. What happens is when you click the arrow, not only do you get access to the information, but Google's going to start to drop down relevant questions to this particular topic. So when I did a search for dentists for babies, these were the only 3 questions that came up. But when I clicked this arrow, this down arrow, now it's showing up, it's pointing upwards. We also got these topics here. What happens if you don't fix cavities in baby teeth? Can toddlers get fillings? So sort of a silly question, but people ask all kinds of things. And that's, you know, it goes back to why it's so important to build your strategy like this, because you want to rank on Google for lots of different combinations of words. And you can do that with one good piece of content. You know, one good piece of, blog is not going to just rank for one keyword search. You want these pages, these blogs, to rank on Google for many different ways people would search. So you're getting many results from one effort. And of course, like I said, then you can go and you can repurpose it on social media and videos and all that kind of thing. So this is one place to start. You can do this for you can do this for any topic. Here's another one, dentist for teenagers. I did a search for this one. And then you can see the questions down below. You can see what comes up. And again, if you click any one of these arrows, you're going to get more questions that are going to pop up that Google's going to show you. And you can keep doing this process. Okay, another great place to find questions and answers, because again, let me just repeat, why does the internet, why does the internet even exist? It's because the content, you're providing a solution or an answer to a question. That's what people are searching for online. If they were just searching for dentists, well, you probably only need the yellow pages. But you can go over to a site called Quora, and you can do a search like I did this one here right on the very top. You can see here on the right, dentist for teenagers, and you're going to see all these questions and answers that come up. And you can take all these different questions and answers, and you can take the topics and you can rewrite them. You can also do what's called content curation, where you could actually, take the question and answer and then just provide like a link over to Quora. That would work as well. And you could, put a little bit of your own content in, and then highlight some of these questions. You're still going to rank on Google, even though it might be somebody else's content. If you're doing a content curation strategy, you want to give the attribution, like with a link to where that information is coming from. But Quora is another amazing resource, and whatever business you're in, doesn't matter whether you're in roofing or some manufacturing business or your custom aquariums, you're going to be able to find questions here as well, question and answers here. Now here's another really great tool. It's called answerthepublic.com. And just going back to Quora for a second, this is a free tool. Here's another one called answerthepublic.com. And answerthepublic.com is free to use as well. You can do, I think they'll allow you to do 2 searches a day. If you're going to do more than 2 searches a day, you're going to have to upgrade to the, the monthly plan, which is $99. And I have used this. I subscribed to the $99 thing for a while, but then I sort of, I found that I didn't really need, if I was economical with my searches, I didn't really need any more than the free plan. And you can do a search, like in this one I did a search for dentist for babies, and you can see all the different kinds of questions that people are asking, and it really helps you build out your strategy based on the demand. And because the internet is demand driven marketing, it's you're trying to put yourself in the position of your customer and give them what they want, rather than saying, hey, I'm the greatest dentist in the world, I've been in business for 25 years, I went to Cornell Medical School. People, yeah, that's good to hear, but what people care about is themselves. So they're searching for answers to their problems, and if you become the provider of answers to their questions, you're going to get more. If you're a dentist, you're going to get more patients. When they do a search and they land on a page and you're giving them what they're looking for, it's, the conversion is high. People also remember, even if they don't take action at that particular moment and call a dentist, if they keep searching over and over and over and they see the same dentist in their market come up with answers to these commonly asked questions, they become more memorable, and it creates trust. It creates memorability. They become memorable, because every other dentist out there is probably just saying, hey, we do, these different services. We do teeth cleaning, we do Invisalign braces, we do crowns, and all these other things. Well, so does every other dentist. So how do you stand out? How are you different when somebody looks at you online? If everybody's saying the same, if every dental site says the same thing, even if you rank number one, what's the difference? How are you going to convert, right? How are you going to convert from somebody who's doing a search to getting that phone call and turning that person who's doing the search into a new patient? It's by answering questions to you're answering the questions to the patients are having online. So that is, we're at about 11:30. Wasn't sure how fast this was going to go, and but this is, I'm sort of at the end of this right now. If anybody has any questions, start firing away, because I could talk for hours on this topic.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. That was very interesting. So we are going to use the remaining time for questions and answers. We'll take as many as we can to fill out the hour. So please submit them via the chat feature in the lower portion of your screen. Okay, so we do have a few that were submitted in the Q&A section. Let me deal with those first from Casey. Should I post an entire post on Google My Business, or is a link to a post on my website better?
Yeah, Google My Business. You probably want to do like just a brief summary when you log into your Google My Business account. Over in that left sidebar, there's that post button, and what you want to do is you want to, if you post like let's say you write a blog on your website, and let's say it's 300 words, you can post on your Google My Business, let's say 50 words, and you upload that photo, and you upload a photo with a keyword description, like ideally you've taken a photo that's a real photo, not stock photos, because you want to benefit from that. Google's going to see, they want to see real things, and so you want a real photo. You can go on your desk, onto your, wherever your file is on your PC or laptop or whatever, and just put a keyword relevant to that article, or that photo. Upload the photo to the Google My Business post. Do like maybe a summary of that particular post right on Google My Business. That's really going to help your Google My Business optimization.
Right. Okay. So how do you use Google My Business to promote selling a gas station, since the post was on your website?
You just repurpose it, and you could say something like, you could post it on your Google My Business page, and it could be, selling a gas station. And, today we posted a blog on our website, about all the different things you need to know if you're looking to sell your gas station, such as, creating a business memorandum, putting together your team, getting a pricing evaluation. Boom. You're just creating a condensed version of what you already wrote.
Right. Okay, this question comes maybe 15 minutes ago. Are those two questions actually an H2 and an H3 tags?
Yeah, they're H2s.
H2s.
They may be in H3s, but yes, when we break down the categories, yeah, you want to use those H2s and H3s. Absolutely.
Right. Larry wanted to know if you could comment on the best strategies for product-based businesses, which just has an online e-commerce site for sales, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's an awesome question. Well, okay. If you've got e-commerce, I don't know your business, but one thing you can do, if you're selling products, and let's say you're competing against other e-com sellers that maybe are selling the same products, what a lot of e-com uh, businesses do is they might go to their manufacturer and they might just copy and paste the content for a particular product and put it on your, let's say your Shopify page. If you rewrite that content and you make it unique and original, um, it's going to, you're going to rank for it. If you're copying everybody else, if everybody else is posting the same exact content, the ranking, you're going to have to use Facebook ads or pay-per-click to drive traffic to your page. But if you create unique, original content, you're going to be able to rank. And one of the things that you can do with, in the e-com product world is you want to think about maybe things like product names or product sizes or anything related to that product so that if somebody specifically is educated and they're looking for something specific, you want to try and capitalize on all these little keywords and don't look at the keyword tools as and say, well, the keyword tool says nobody searches for this. There's no data. That's not true, because I've built in like a very successful agency around things that people aren't searching for according to the keyword tools. But I know logically that people are searching. So you can take this exact same strategy and apply it to ecom. And if you can add maybe on a product, you add a couple questions and answers, that's going to give you a huge edge for ranking.
Right, right. Yeah, this one is one that I was thinking of as well. This next question, it's when it comes to the answers you're providing, how much attribution should you give to the information you find elsewhere? Is there any legal requirement for giving credit to the original info? So I would imagine, for instance, that it matters if it's coming from John Smith, DDS in Naples, Florida, or if it was the American Dental Association giving that answer. I mean, how much attribution do you give?
You're going to have to use your own judgment. Like you don't really want to copy what somebody else has done. But if you look at this right here, this content, um, we wrote this content uniquely because when we did our research, we found the information, the content from numerous different sources. And then we sort of retook that content as our research and we rewrote our own content unique to us. But I'm finding, online, this information. And, so I'm using, I guess it would be like, in a way, like, doing a term paper in college, read this book and, write a term paper of 10 pages on this topic. Well, you don't want to go back into the same book that you studied and just rewrite. You want to use your own sequence. You want to think about, if you think about because what we're doing here, like in this particular piece of content, I searched a number of different topics and I found the best content online. And what we did was we mixed and matched and we created better content than anybody else has online. So what we always do is I'm always starting at like a national level and I'm doing, the research, and, just putting together the pieces and then we're rewriting our own unique content. I'm not a big fan of just copying somebody else's work. I mean, can you just copy somebody else's work without giving them an attribution? I would say no.
Got it. Very good. Heather wants to know, besides blog posts, should I be optimizing all the pages on my site with questions as the headlines?
I would say that if you can, it doesn't matter whether it's a page or a blog, you can apply the same strategy on your pages as well as blogs. Absolutely. It'll give you an edge. It'll definitely give you a ranking edge.
Right. And going back really to your one of your beginning slides, do those links to local markets go in your blog or on your newsletter?
Run that by me again.
Do those links to local markets go in your blog or on your newsletter?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
Okay, maybe she can clarify.
Yeah. Um, uh, one of the things, I'm not sure the question exactly, but, one of the things that I would always think about is, what makes sense from a user perspective? You know, um, if you're going to create, let's say, a link on a page, like you could see, like on this one here, like that is, you can't see it because this isn't live, but this is a link, and the word is marketing strategy, and this link could be a link to another page on my website. It could be a link to a high authority site that that we want to show a natural outbound link. Um, you might want to. You could even create a link and link it. You could, I guess, you could have a video link here. So there's a lot of different ways you can use it. But I would always, if you're ever in doubt, think about if you were the consumer, if you were your own consumer, own client, what makes sense to them.
Right, right.
That always helps clarify things, I think.
Yep. Are questions better for ranking over headlines?
Are they better? I think they're part of the equation. I would just a regular headline versus a question headline. Mm. Well, let's look at this one here. Like for example, we did not start out with the headline as a question. We started out with selling a gas station, 3 things to consider before marketing a gas station for sale. So we did not start the question until we got down here. And then we sort of mixed it up. You can see how we mix it up. So we've got a headline, then we've got a question, then we have another question, and then number 3, if you scroll down the page, the one on the right here with 3, that is not a question. So we're sort of mixing it up. So, and you can see that this one ranked, if you look at it, selling a gas station in Naples. Now, if you notice here, you see where it says selling a gas station? We actually put a question mark in. That's our meta description. So we put we put a question mark after selling a gas station. So you can phrase things a couple different ways. You could be selling a gas station, or selling a gas station, that kind of thing. I don't know if I put the right intonation on the words, but you see that in the meta description, we put a question mark right after selling a gas station. Definitely, I'm going to assume that helped our ranking, because if you look at, there's the site down below is Biz Buy Sell. That's a huge brand, huge, big nationwide site. If you scroll down this page, you're going to find some other really monster sites like LoopNet, which is a big commercial real estate listing board. We're outranking them. Now, this is a local market, but we wrote this, and this was just a random blog post. And just because of the way we wrote it and we structured it, we were able to outrank everybody. And it's pretty cool to be able to do that.
Right. Yep. Jonathan wants to know, does it help to have photos related to the blog on the website page where the blog is located?
Well, yes. I mean, relevance is one of the most important things online for a lot of different reasons. One is that Google, they're measuring relevance. Everything is based on relevance online. You want your page, when you write a page, you want relevance through the, from that headline all the way through the body of the copy. When you add a photo, you want to add a photo that is relevant to the, to the copy. I don't know if that answers the question, but sort of, I guess.
Yeah. Can old blogs be reused without making changes to the copy, or does Google recognize this as duplicate content and hurt its ranking?
Run that by me again.
Yeah, can old blogs be reused without
Yes.
making changes to the copy, or does Google recognize that as duplicate content?
Oh, yeah. I would never take an existing blog and copy it and repost it that way. What I would do is if you have older blogs, go back to those older blogs and tweak them a little bit. Rather than copy it, you can update older blogs and make them fresh. And if if you have a WordPress website, there's, in the upper right, you've got a couple little editing features, and you can update the date. There's a date feature, and you can update that. We just recently did that for an insurance client where we've been writing blogs for years. And what we did was, we, instead of adding new blogs, we went back to a lot of the old blogs and we updated them. We tweaked them. This was a insurance agency that their primary focus was New York. And what we did was we started to remove a lot of the New York terms, and we updated the blogs just slightly. And now many of those blogs are ranking on a national basis, not just in New York. So that was pretty cool. But rather than copy and paste an old blog to new, go back. You can actually go back and tweak your old blogs, update them a little bit, update them with the new date. You're probably, and maybe add a couple question and answers to that particular blog post. If you do it right, you're going to see results.
Right. Does it hurt to put contact information in the blog copy itself? So in the blog, tell the person reading to contact a number and talk with your company.
Yes, yeah, I do that a lot. I do that a lot because you know the sometimes the consumer's not going to go to another page. They're right there. And probably a good thing to do, like even on this one right here. What I could do is I could go back to this particular post, and I could put the name of the client right on the top. Now, this client wasn't doing blogs with us before I wrote this. Now they are. Once they saw the result, they said, "Oh my, okay, yes, let's do this." And so what I could do is I could go back to this particular blog now, and I could put their company name and a phone number. And you can also do the same thing down below, like when you get down, like in number 3 here, uh, underneath the bottom, you could do like a summary, and you could say, whatever the name of the business is. Let's say in this particular case, it's like Sunbelt Business Brokers, which is a national franchise. You could say, Sunbelt of Naples is, services, entire state of Florida, and, Sarasota, Naples, Fort Myers. Here's where we're located. Here's our phone number. You could absolutely do that.
Right. Right. Another question. What is your view on creating local content on the business website and the Google My Business page for towns around you in order to build your local ranking? And he
Yeah.
goes on to say, we currently create town-specific content page on our site, and we repurpose the same content for different towns in Connecticut.
Yeah. I mean, I've built out a lot of sites where, I actually own a site that we've built out with many, many city pages, and virtually the same content. And there are some tricks to that strategy. Um, uh, but yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can absolutely do that.
Another one comment was, I'm just starting with all this. What should my priorities be? Where should I focus my time?
You should focus your time on your strategy. What is your plan? Who is your customer? Where are they? What are they worth? What do they want to know? Um, you want to take your business and you want to break it down into different niches. For example, I've done this for like I'll give you an insurance example. We've worked with a number of insurance agencies where we've created content like Tesla insurance, fine art insurance, jewelry insurance, yacht insurance, cyber insurance, things like that. So you want to break your business down into all these different niches, and you want to do that before you start. I think one of the like this is one of the big problems that I see all the time with this is a universal problem is people start out and they create a website and they create a Facebook page and they start posting things and they get no results. And the reason why is that they haven't started with their strategy first. You want to build a strategy just sort of like, a architect would design a house. Once you put together your blueprint for your business and who your customers are, what they're looking for, you're going to that now you have a plan, now you have a strategy, and you want to get that Google exposure, for as many different topics as possible. And one website that's really awesome to look at just to get an idea of this is a really important thing is to look at who is your customer, what are the different profiles. It's like on that dental site, what we did was we broke it down by women, pregnancy, babies, teenagers, adults under 40, adults over 40, and then seniors over 60. So it's not just we're a dentist and we provide dental services. We took that and we turned it around the other way and said, okay, who's the consumer? What do they want? If you're an insurance agent and you say, okay, we do auto insurance, car insurance, and business insurance, that's not enough. It's going to be really, really hard to convert because every other insurance agency is saying the same thing. But if you break your business down into jewelry insurance and equine insurance and yacht insurance and flood insurance and, on and on and on, that's what you want to do. And you want to keep breaking it down niche by niche by niche by niche by niche, because a lot of times we don't really know how people are going to search. But Google, if you become the information provider and you break it down niche by niche by niche, Google's going to help you with search results. I was on the phone with a client this morning who's out on the West Coast, and he's a painting contractor. And you can actually, just to give you an idea, if you do a search for, I think it's metal tank painters in Oregon, you're going to see a blog post that we wrote 6 years ago, and it's very simple, and it's still ranking and it's still producing today. I can't even tell you how much business and really high ticket business this painting contractor has gotten off that one blog. If you do a search for like metal tank painters, on any keyword, it's going to say 0 results. I'm going to tell you it worked. And, it's like right now he was a house painter. Now right this month, he's starting he's painting 100-foot tall water tank. It's a big deal. And last year he painted a water park because somebody did a search for like metal, something to do with metal painters. So what we did was we started to we use case studies in this particular case, but this is all consumer driven marketing. You want to get in front of your consumer for what relates to them, and like if you're a painter, and you just are focusing on like painting keywords, well, you're not going to convert because there's a zillion painting websites. But if you are going after metal tank painting or metal building painting or metal roof painting, one of the projects that we're creating a case study on is he just did a an airplane hangar floor, with like a floor epoxy. And, that's going to turn into a case study where, based on, somebody who's looking for, you may not get that much business off it, but you think about it, it's, the competition for airplane hangar floor coatings in Oregon, or Connecticut, or wherever it may be, it doesn't matter. The competition for ranking for that is very, very low. The return can be very, very high. But look at it this way: if you write a blog once a week for a year, or let's say once a week for 5 years, and every blog that you write is a different topic and based on a different kinds of use, well, that's 250 different opportunities for getting a piece of business. And it works. I'm going to tell you, it works. I've seen like an incredible growth with just utilizing the strategy. So it's really thinking about, you want to start, break your business down into all these different niches. Think about the consumer. Don't think about what you're trying to sell. Think about what the consumer wants. That's the key.
Right. Okay. Can you write a blog for the website and then copy it onto your LinkedIn page as an article? Is there any advantage to this, or will it hurt your rankings?
No, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't really use LinkedIn at all. I just don't have time. I've never really studied the results. I do have clients that have used it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Very good. I think that's all the time we have. Thanks, Ed. As a reminder, a recording of this webinar is available within a couple of days on the fairfieldcounty.score.org website. Please check our website for further information on upcoming events. Again, SCORE offers free individual counseling, so please use the link on the screen. It's the last page, I think, Ed, if you wanted to advance to that.
Oh, yeah.
And click on the button, Request a Mentor. We are available for sessions via phone, email, and video currently. Also, please fill out the evaluations that have been sent to you at the end of this webinar. On behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's SCORE live webinar. In closing today, a big thank you to Ed Winslow. That was great, Ed. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks. Always fun to share this information.
Yep.
Hope it helps.